Hi, and welcome to Intuitive Insights. On this channel, we discuss everything to do with the Ascension process. We talk about all the different energies that are currently taking place, that are supporting us in this process, and how to navigate those energies most effectively. This is an exciting time of awakening. I am currently recording this video on the 444 portal. Just super inspired to get as many messages out to you guys today as possible. We are going to be going live tonight at 10 p.m. in preparation for the mass meditation that is happening at 10:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Adjust for your location. We are going to be anchoring in the new 5D Earth and eradicating all sickness, all fear consciousness, all mass control consciousness from the collective energy grid. It's going to be a powerful, powerful experience. And I've been putting the link to the mass meditation in all of our videos, so you can find that below. What we're doing right now is actually a reading that I pulled the cards for yesterday. This is something that, I've never done before, but I received the Earth Warriors Oracle deck in the mail yesterday. And I pulled, I blessed the cards. I did my whole thing. I asked them to be a channel through which not only I receive guidance in my personal life, but through which messages can be channeled to the collective for whatever it is that we need, the advice and the guidance that we all need collectively moving forward. And of course, doing a reading for myself is doing a reading for the collective, because we are all connected. We are all that one consciousness. And so as I was pulling these cards and I was reading about them, I realized that the message that I was receiving was not only for me, but for the collective as well. And it was something that needed to be shared. I then received the download that it would have been, it would have behooved me to do the reading, my first initial reading with these cards as a video, but I didn't. So, it was totally fine to do it this way now. And I really, like I said, I want to share what I received because it's really beautiful and it lines in perfectly with what is happening tonight and with this new earth that we're moving into, this new age of Aquarius that we're moving into, this new experience of our collective reality that we are co-creating together with the help of spirit, with the help of the celestial bodies and all of the energies that are present right now. So let's get right into the reading. The first card that I received was Pachamama. She with the Andean emerald heart. And just look at the beauty and gorgeousness of this card. And so, you can see all of the creatures, all of the creatures of the earth, and just feel that sacred connectedness to the earth. This is something that we forget a lot of times, that we are also in a process of remembering, is just how connected we are, not just to each other, but to Gaia, to our planet. To the celestial bodies, right? The sun brings us this nourishment, it gives us this life force. Our lives are ruled by these cycles of the moon, these cycles and phases, the cycles and phases of the planets. We're utilizing the energy tonight of Jupiter and Pluto, and that conjunction during this portal to really laser focus this collective energy for the upliftment of the planet. Everything works in concert together, and we are all united and we are all part of this earth. And it's just that remembering of the sacredness of that and what that means. And so that's, just looking at that card, you see you've even got the ancestors in there, the elders. It's just the wisdom that we gain from our connection to nature and from our connection to each other. And, just the way that we forget that, how we're being so disconnected from nature and feeling so disconnected from each other and wanting to, I think, everyone, with being forced to separate right now, is realizing how much we actually miss and value that connection with each other. I read something that somebody posted on social media the other day about how they even missed the casual conversations with strangers. And like the truth of the matter is there is no stranger. If we look at everyone through that oneness consciousness, through that lens of seeing ourselves in their eyes, we realize that everyone is a reflection of us. We're all this same being having these different experiences from these different perspectives, and we are connected. So in that way, there is no such thing as a stranger. It's just, are we looking through the eyes of recognition, or are we looking through the eyes of, that disconnection and that separatedness kind of a vibe? And so we can absolutely make that choice in our interactions with everyone, in our interactions with nature, with spirit, with everything. And so let's see what I want to read out of this. There's a lot here, so I'm not going to read all of it. Be open to the new and the different in yourself and your life. Trust like the Earth Mother as an act of devotion. She is watching over you as you evolve to manifest the fullness of your sacred and original life purpose. And so we're talking about today is the 444 portal. We're having this activation. The next wave of light workers is being activated. We are, using this activation and this energy to bring in this new earth where we are connected in that way, where we remember the sacredness of our connection with each other and with nature and with all of the universe and the cosmos. And so this was a beautiful message, as well, getting deeper into this. It says, don't hold back from what is happening. Things need to change, so let them change. It may seem chaotic or overwhelming right now. However, when you realize that you don't need to figure it all out, you will relax, allowing the wisdom of what is happening at a deeper level to unfold. Trust that your inner resources are enough, and you will grow to meet your needs for soul expression in the world. Okay, so this is about trusting in the universe, knowing that we have all the resources that we need, that we are, because we are so connected to the earth, because we are so connected to spirit. We are spirit. We are an expression of spirit. We're always supported and we're always loved. And, like chaos, out of chaos comes new life, right? Where in this process, we talk about it with, I talk about Pluto a lot and what's happening with Pluto and Saturn and Jupiter and all these other planets, right? And so it's this creation and destruction process, and just trusting that process and trusting that you are being guided and you are being led to a deeper fulfillment of your life purpose. A lot of us are stepping more into our life purpose right now, where our soul mission is being activated. And so just trusting that guidance, trusting that guidance that you feel, and like not getting caught up in fear and not getting caught up in trying to control and trying to understand how things are going to happen, and just letting them unfold and happen naturally. And so that's a lot of what I'm getting from this. This oracle indicates that peace and harmony will eventually triumph over conflict and challenge, bringing about a new way of being. So bringing about that new earth, right? Like there are forces out there that are seeking to continue to dominate and control, and are grasping at straws right now, trying to figure out how to maintain that control as it's falling away. But it is falling away, and it will continue to fall away. And so this talks about holding space as well. The power of holding space for ourselves and holding space for other people. And so that's, once again, perfect. That's why I wait. Actually, no, see, everything did unfold perfectly in perfect time. So I thought that this is the perfect time to do this reading as we're talking about the 444 portal on the 444 portal, because that's part of what we're doing collectively, is we're holding space. We're holding space for each other. We're holding space for Gaia. We're holding space for all the beings who are trapped in that fear consciousness, and helping to raise that vibration and to raise them up. And it's so important to care for each other and to care for ourselves during this time, because I am you and you are me, so caring for me is caring for you, and vice versa. And the love that we extend to ourselves, we are at the same time extending to everyone else. And so, just really learning. It's about self-love. It's about self-love. It's about seeing. And so this comes down to, holding space for diversity and stuff too. So this comes down to what I was talking about in the Unity Consciousness PSA. The fact that we are, like, our diversity is our strength, and coming together and being willing to listen to different perspectives and see different points of view, and to put all of that knowledge and that wisdom together, and be open-minded enough to constantly learn from each other. and not say, this is what I believe, and so therefore anything that anyone else believes that contradicts my belief must be false. This is opening our mind up to the fact that like truth is as multifaceted as we are, and it's all dependent upon the perspective. And the more different perspectives we can sort of garner and pull from, the more we're able to see a bigger or a more accurate version of the truth, right? And so coming together and allowing our collective energy and our collective perspectives to open our eyes to a bigger vision for humanity, a bigger vision of where we want to go and how we want to move forward. And that is what we're doing right now. We are absolutely moving forward, And so the final line of this is, don't underestimate the importance of your inner work, nor the healing effect it initiates on the world. So yeah, it's your journey is important, and your healing work that you do on yourself is also healing the world. And so I think that's an important message to have moving forward as well, is just, I think a lot of us sometimes underestimate the work that we're doing when even in that process of healing ourselves. And this next wave of light workers being initiated, that's going to be a huge thing, as we start being opened up to this idea that we have this greater soul purpose. Sometimes, as humans, we think about it in when we're thinking about time. We've been taught, especially in society, that everything, we should always have goals. We should always be working towards goals. Like we have to be productive, right? Like hustle, grind. And so when we take this time to start healing ourselves, which is what happens during that first awakening and that first phase of initiation, is we go through that dark night of the soul. We have to look at everything that we've been unable or unwilling to look at before, and heal all of that stuff. And that's a really messy process sometimes, and it can be very overwhelming. So if you are entering into that stage now, please subscribe and please continue to watch our videos, because that's what we're here to do, is help you through that, because Kayla and I have both been through that, and we're still going through that on different levels. There's always a deeper level of initiation, a deeper level of healing. But when you're in that process of healing, don't allow yourself, like I did, to get caught up in that idea that you're not doing enough. Because like, in order for me to share, like I can't transmit something that I don't have. So if I haven't healed myself, I can't help another to heal. I can be an inspiration, but I can only share what I have to give, basically. And so you are in that process of just you're in that process. And so that process is its own beautiful thing, and that process is helping others. And it's healing collective wounds. It's healing collective, like we're doing so much when we work on ourselves. So that's an important thing to remember going forward. And so the second card we got, was 37, Diamond Tiger of the Black Moon. Second chances bring success. And you can see how there's just all of these lines radiating out of this tiger's third eye. And we have the phases of the moon up above, which we were talking about, the cycles and phases that we go through. How connected we are to the moon, how connected we are to nature, to, all of these different expressions and aspects of that energy that we are at our core. And so this says, your soul is on the diamond path of spiritual growth. You may feel pressured by life at times, but at a higher level, those challenges are helping you realize your true strength of character. You have the personal will, strength, and physical power that you need for success, no matter what has happened in the past. You are developing the spirit, passion, and vitality to fight like a tigress defending her cubs. Believe in yourself. There is great dignity and strength in your heart. Yes. And so this is just more confirmation of what we were just talking about, is going through that process and knowing that you have the strength to get through it, and you are on the spiritual path. And that is just part of the spiritual path, and just trusting in your own ability and your own strength, and calling on that tiger medicine. Calling on that inner tiger within you to bring you through that process. Reclaiming and redirecting your energy, it talks about, not judging ourselves. A prophecy is given for empowered leadership, spiritual attainment, and success after previous failure, which leads to an irreversible and positive outcome. So this is talking about how our struggles make us who we are, right? But our struggles don't need to define us. Once we've learned the lessons of those struggles and we've come through the other side more empowered and more in command of that inner tiger energy within us, like, we don't have to hold on to and identify with those struggles anymore. We can let those go. Like, you are not defined by your past. Your past has helped to mold you into the person that you are now, but it doesn't define you. And you can release that energy when you've received all that you were meant to receive from it. Like, we don't have to hold on to that energy and keep sitting in that energy. And so that's a big process of what we've been doing. We talk about the trifold process of integration, and how before the first step, we have that step 0, which is that purging process, that releasing process. And so it's important to release all that no longer serves. At one time it did serve us, but when it no longer serves us, we can let that go, and we can let that go with love and gratitude for what it taught us, because everything is a teacher. Every experience is a gift. Every experience teaches us something. But once you've learned the lesson, you've learned the lesson. You pass a test, you're not going to go back to school and take the same exact test 20 more times. What would be the point of that? And so that's some of that energy. And so let's see. This is also talking about second chances. It's talking about the black moon, which is the second new moon in a month. And it says, as a sacred symbol in the language of the soul, the black moon represents either an emerging insight which you have previously been able to glimpse but not fully grasp, or a situation that almost happened as desired but didn't quite make the full journey from wish to reality. The insight or opportunity will arise again in your psyche to either reveal or ground fully at this time. Diamond wisdom is fulfillment and is absolute. With another chance, your breakthrough will be irreversible, diamond-like in nature, unable to be changed back into the state from which it has evolved. And so for some reason, this is, I know that there's a message in there, so I read that in case somebody needed to hear that specific message that was read. Anything that is meant, what is meant for me is always meant for me. And it's, everything happens in divine timing. So there was a message there for somebody, something's coming back around, and it's either a realization so that we can finally release something and let it go, or it's now is its time. Now is the time for that to blossom. So leave that where it is. But what I was just reminded of was, the diamond light body, and sort of the way we are multifaceted like diamonds, and we're stepping into this. We have this purification process, or this initiation process that is initiating our, the full majesty of the potentials of all of our light bodies. And so it's this diamond wisdom, which is the wisdom of being able to see, like we said, from all those different perspectives. It's that's where, so something about that, something about, we talk about, you can maybe do some research into it, the crystal skull and all of this, and sort of this, so the diamond, it's the nature and the wisdom of the diamond, which to me, like I said, just represents all of the different facets. And we are all of those different facets, right? Each one of us with our different perspective is a different facet of that one diamond, and that diamond is source. That diamond is the entire diamond is source, and then we are the different facets of that diamond. And we're washing away and fine-tuning and polishing all of the stuff on the surface that is keeping us from shining in our true brilliance and our true magnificence. And once we erase all of that, we do have that diamond-like quality. And so this whole process, this whole initiation process, is the process of sloughing away all that keeps us from shining at our brightest. And so part of that process, it's, really being gentle and kind with ourselves. This is, negative self-talk, all of that. like not getting caught up in self-judgment. It's those emotions are coming up so that we can release them. We can observe them. We can see that they're present. We can thank them for the part that they played in our evolution, and then we can let them go with love. Like, as all of this stuff comes up during this purging and this healing and this dark night of the soul, it's not coming up so that we can hang on to it still. It's coming up so that we can just acknowledge it and release it, because it's no longer necessary and it's no longer congruent with the new vibration that we're rising into. And so, yeah, I think that's pretty much all that I'm getting from this card. And then we have White Buffalo Woman, number 44. These cards are absolutely gorgeous. I'm so excited to have this deck. I've been waiting for a really long time. And I'm so grateful. And you can see here, she's got the third eye, and then she's also got the throat chakra, which is highlighted. The throat chakra, and it looks like the solar plexus a little bit too. And she's got the buffalo in the heart. And so, yeah, she is just glowing with magnificence. Absolutely glowing with magnificence and power. She is so empowered, and she is so peaceful. And it's just that benevolent energy that's flowing out from her. I can just feel it and see it from the expression in her face. It's that energy of benevolence. And it's like power that doesn't seek to dominate, power that seeks to uplift. That is, power that is expressed. It says, have hope, for you are pure of heart. And White Buffalo Woman appears as the divine sign of rebirth and harmony. She is the way shower who lives as one with Great Spirit. She teaches the practices that will free and empower us all. She heralds the birth of the divine upon a new earth. You are held in her heart, and you will recognize her beautiful grace of spirit in your own. You recognize her in you. This whole we are one, I am you, you are me, right? And this oracle signifies hope and reunion after a challenging or dark time. There will be harmony and a coming together in sacred purpose after putting pain or conflict behind you. A birth of something pure and true shall happen under the auspices of Great Spirit. Forgive yourself and others and lay claim to the purity and goodwill that is your heart's true nature. Spiritual blessing is bestowed. Your actions are in accord with heaven. Complete release and renewal shall take place. The good and true will triumph in the end. Have faith, for your prayers are being answered. And so this could be reunion in a bunch of ways. This could be reunion with certain people that are part of your soul path that perhaps you had to maybe take a step away from for a time. This could also be reunion with ourselves, right? Like we, at a certain point, through trauma and through different things, our soul sort of disconnects. They talked about this a lot at the spiritual retreat that I went to in Costa Rica called Rhythmia, which was absolutely amazing. Anyone who wants to look that up, it's an ayahuasca treatment center, or not treatment center, but kind of, it's a spiritual treatment, an ayahuasca center, and it was absolutely amazing. But they talk about this whole idea of, the soul merging back with our souls, and how through trauma and different things that we experience, our soul kind of splits off, right? And that reemergence. And so they use, to them, the Ankh is the symbol of that merging back with the soul. And so that's the process that we're all going through right now. We're all merging back with our souls. We're reclaiming any aspects of our soul that, are not living in their true home right now, that have fractured off due to different traumatic events. We're recalling all those pieces of ourselves. We're recalling our spiritual gifts. We are overcoming any experiences that caused us to disown some of our spiritual gifts. We are reclaiming our power, and we're reclaiming those gifts. And part of what we're doing, and this is sort of once the initial awakening has unfolded, these are some of the later stages, at least in my experience, of what happens during our awakening, when we begin to heal this trauma from our past lives as well, that's caused our souls, or caused our, caused us to split apart in some way and not be in full command of our full energy and our full essence. And so we're calling all of that back now. We're reintegrating that within us. We're reclaiming these gifts so that we can utilize them for the upliftment of humanity at this critical time. And so that's just this beautiful process that's happening. And that would be a whole different video entirely to get into what that looks like and feels like. But it's that reunion of all of these aspects of ourselves. And as we come back to ourselves and then we view ourselves in another, we connect even more deeply on that, in that unity consciousness, right? Like it's a reunion with ourselves, and then it's a reunion with each other. But it's a reunion because even if we've been present with each other in a lower consciousness, for lack of a better term, consciousness, what we are now reuniting from this place of forgiveness, from this place of unconditional love, from this new space, and we see each other in the fullness of who we are. And to me, this card is also about seeing everyone in the fullness of who they are, in their true spiritual light. And so all of these interactions that we have with other people that bring up these different traumas, all of these judgments that we place on people, like actually influence the way that they behave towards us. And so when we strip all that away and we can just look at someone in their true divine beauty, that's what they display back to us. And that's the experience that we both have of each other. So it's just the importance of seeing everyone in their true divine beauty, seeing everyone as that reflection of ourselves. And like looking at seeing the best possible, like the highest, seeing a school that I went to actually used the term like seeing them in their highest, right? We're observing everyone from this place of awakening, from this place of a fully activated heart center, a fully activated third eye. And it's a totally different experience when we view people from that place. So I think that to me is some of what that card is saying as well. And just, the good and true will triumph in the end, which I think is really important for us to know right now. We are in this spiritual war. Like, don't get it confused. This is a spiritual war. And we are battling on an energy level, on a frequency level. That's where this, when we talk about revolution, people from a 3D point of view will look at that as, I got to get lots of guns. I got to go do this. Like, we're going to fight this out to the death. But it's not, this battle is not being fought on that level. This battle is being fought on a spiritual level, and it will be won on a spiritual level, and it will be won. And this is confirmation. In case anybody was worried about that, sometimes I slip into fear consciousness a little bit and I get a little worried, but the fact of the matter is, like, we will win this battle. And it's and we do it all by coming together. We do it by seeing each other in our highest expressions and by collectively visualizing that highest expression of Earth, that 5D Earth, that new experience of living and loving from that conscious heart center. And so this says, all right. For those of us attempting to awaken higher values and closed hearts that are unwilling to shift from more self-deserving ways, White Buffalo Woman brings a message of divine justice. This is not about revenge or a mean-spirited definition of karma and people getting what they deserve. For if one is disconnected enough from the heart to be self-serving, then one is already in a living hell. The divine justice that White Buffalo Woman heralds is the restorative and corrective power of Great Spirit that will always find a way. If Great Spirit needs to use an unlikely candidate to do that, then it will. The divine is not limited to what we think is going to work. It is powerful in ways that are beyond human comprehension. It is able to enact divine law and elicit restoration, even when we wonder if it's all falling apart before our eyes. And so I want to stop right there. So this is talking about the fact that divine justice will be had. Just as we were saying, there are forces that seek to dominate and control and that would see us not rise into this higher vibration and this new earth. But there are so many beings out there that are on our side, that are fighting for us every day, that are seeking to connect, and who are lending their love and their light, and we're going to be connecting and bringing in some of those the energies being lended to us both by those higher frequency beings during this 444 portal mass meditation. I mean, there is so much. The entire cosmos, there are so many galactic forces out there that are coming together and are helping humanity, like the spirit, the earth itself. Like, we are all in this and we are all working together, and like divine justice will be had. It is impossible to hold us down when we realize our true spiritual power, and that's what's happening right now. And so there are forces that are seeking to slow that process down or to halt that process, but it's not going to work. That process is underway, and that process is blessed. And it will continue, and it will grow, and we will continue to evolve, and the divine has our back. That's basically what this message is right here. The divine has our back. And so it says, this doesn't mean that we give up our fight, but rather that we are renewed with optimism and enthusiasm to embrace our journey with the greatest ally working alongside us. We find comfort knowing that Great Spirit is with us, not doing for us, but neither turning away from us in our need. We feel a more peaceful trust in the ultimate success of our purpose, for no matter how many twists and turns the path takes, behind and in front of every unexpected obstacle, Great Spirit is present. Behind every at first unwanted adversary, through which we develop an important skill or deepen our unconditional reliance and trust in the divine, Great Spirit is there. And so this is talking about the fact that everything is an opportunity, right? Like, and we talked about this, in other videos recently too. We talk about it with the Pluto-Jupiter video, where it's, our faith is built in those moments of strife, in those moments of challenge. And we become empowered through finding our faith in the divine, our faith in ourselves. And we come out with a stronger faith because we're forced to develop that when it's challenged. When times are easy, it's easy to say that we have faith, but what does that really mean? True faith is built through challenge, through overcoming adversity. And we are in an incredible period of that right now. And we have absolutely everything we need to overcome that. And it's right here. It's right here. For those of us that love the light and labor with great passion and perseverance, we need legitimate signs of hope to help us keep the faith in our progress and trust in the value of our contribution, for the evidence of good works is not always seen straight away. That the spiritual worlds love us enough to send us saviors is a testament to just how closely we are held and known in the divine heart. These divine beings help us when we are struggling to make the transition into the next stage of our spiritual evolution, individually and collectively. Savior beings are our spiritual midwives, the birthing mothers and protective fathers who are guiding the human collective into spiritual maturity. White Buffalo Woman brings you the saving grace to progress spiritually and to know in your heart and soul that you shall see the sacred restored to its rightful place and spiritual harmony between heaven and earth. How fucking amazing is that? How fucking amazing is that? We are so supported and we are so loved, and we are the spiritual midwives that are birthing this new earth. And, we are being so supported and so guided every single step of the way. You shall see the sacred restored to its rightful place and spiritual harmony between heaven and earth. It doesn't get better than that. We're going to end with that, I think, actually. So we're going to go on to this first, and then we're going to end this with the affirmation there. But I want first to go over the final card here. And so this is Panthera, the precious and rare. And we see, again, we have a lot of medicine coming from the big cats. We got the tiger medicine, we got the panther medicine. And so, if an animal is calling to you, that animal is there to be your guide. And so just tune into the messages and the energy of that animal and what it has to share with you. Sometimes I look up animal totems if I see an animal appearing multiple times because I know the animal has a message for me. And sometimes I just intuitively know what that message is. But their energy is so therapeutic and it's so soothing, and it's all bringing out aspects that we already have in ourselves, or calling attention to certain gifts and certain abilities that we already possess but maybe are overlooking. And so this says, our faith and optimism are not meant to make us complacent, but rather to encourage us to believe that our action in the world will have a positive and real effect. There are situations where your voice, right there, your courage and your fearless determination are needed. There's courage. Fearless determination, yep. You will make a difference. Cast helplessness or despair aside and find the fighter within. Fight for that which needs defending with all of your heart. Do not yield. You have the strength to handle any challenge, even the ones that intimidate you. You may feel that you are alone in the fight sometimes, but there are forces of good in spirit and upon the earth that are fighting with you, supporting you, believing in you, assisting you, and championing your success. It may not always feel like it, but you are not in this alone. There is help at hand to uncover a hidden piece of information which will allow truth and justice to prevail. We talk about this with, Pluto is revealing all kinds of secrets right now. All that is hidden shall be revealed. And the next 3 years, this is going to continue to intensify. These final years that Pluto spends in Capricorn before moving into Aquarius. And so, yeah, truth and justice will prevail, but first everything needs to be revealed. We need to know the truth. We need to know what the truth is, and we need to know our own truth too. So a lot of this is finding your own truth. And so we talk about this in the Pluto-Jupiter video. We're in this process of finding our own truth. Everything that's not real is being burned away. All of our ideals and our beliefs and our faith is being called into question. We're being called to practice that. And anything that's not authentic is going to be stripped away, and all that will remain is the truth. And when all that remains is this truth, that's when we will find justice. And we find this truth in ourselves by living in our integrity, by walking our talk. And if we're not able to walk our talk, by looking at why that is and what's holding us back. And is it because we don't believe the words that we're speaking, or is it something else? What is causing us to not be able to live up to our ideals and our values, and to speak that and to live that and to be that? And so this is just telling us not to give up. We're not to give up. We're also not to be, it says, we are not here to be passive consumers of whatever the dominant mainstream consciousness tries to enact in the world. We are here to be the embodiment of loving consciousness, to be the fearless, determined enactors of wisdom. We are here to educate, to inform, to rebel and refuse, to speak up, to make waves, and to honor the light in such a way that we protect and preserve what has real value in this world. This is the age of Aquarius right here. This is the Aquarian energy, right? The body, the earth, and her creatures are not illusions. Saying that they are not real is not spiritual wisdom. That is an unholy deception perpetuated by the forces that don't want sacred activists derailing their devastating behaviors that place profit above all else. And so that's interesting, right? And so that is asking for clarification, right? So when we talk about how this experience is an illusion, what we mean by that is that our beings are eternal, and that this is simply one experience and an experience of very, very many. And that this is an illusion in the sense that we can morph this and create whatever it is that we want. We have that power and we have that ability. And that's one of the reasons that we came here, was to experience and to reclaim that power and learn how to wield that power within the confines of the dimension and the reality that we're experiencing. So in one way it is an illusion, but in another way it's not. It is this beautiful creation. This beautiful creation of source. And right now we are coming into this new spiritual awakening where we're embodying the knowledge that we are so connected to this planet and to this dimension. And we want the best for this dimension. We want to use our creative power to allow it to flourish once more. Right now there are forces that are doing the opposite, and we are here to come together as a people to speak up, to find our voice, to find our truth, and to live that truth by initiating a greater change. This is the spiritual war that we're in, and it's being fought. The battlefield is the earth, is Gaia, is this planet. And that is very, very real. It's not the only reality, but it is one reality. It's an illusion in the fact that it's very mutable and it's very changeable, and we can have an influence and an impact on it. And for such a long time, the impact has been a negative one, because so many people have been unconsciously creating because they didn't understand and take ownership of that power. And so, dominant mainstream consciousness is trying to create a certain script and a certain reality. So are we going to buy into that? And are we going to allow the continued destruction of this planet? Or are we going to unite together and stand up and create something different? And that is the opportunity that we're being given right now. So it's like trusting and having faith in the divine and having faith in these beings that are guiding us and supporting us, but also knowing that we are the spiritual channels and the vessels through which this work is being carried out. They are in the non-physical. We are incarnated in this physical reality right now. And so we have the power. We are the initiators of this change. We are here to enact that change. And we really, really wanted to do this. We agreed to do this and we wanted to do this. And it may not feel that way right now, but it is such an honor and a privilege to be here right now doing just that. And so, this talks about, that lower level consciousness that has exploited and twisted this reality into something other than, what it can be. And, how are this earth we have this thing called free will, right? And free will is what makes earth such a fascinating place, because we have the choice. We come in here and we forget who we are. And we have the option to stay in that place of forgetting and not knowing. They talk about ignorance is bliss, right? And a lot of us have operated under that guise for a really long time. And what that has led to is what we're experiencing right now. And so we're in this great remembering, this process of remembering who and what we are. And we still have the free will to turn a blind eye to that. But that's not what we're meant to do right now. Like if you take a minute and you just feel into that, like you intuitively know, like once you have this knowledge and once you begin to connect to your potential and the truth of who you are, it's pretty impossible to go back. And so, free will is what created this playground that we've learned on, and we've had so many experiences, that have shaped us into what we are. But it's time to, like this card was telling us, to let go of the past and all those experiences that were challenging and were painful and were meant for our evolution, but have served their purpose, and to move into something higher. And to know that, like, we are here to create that something more. And, we become unwilling to be hoodwinked or made to feel impotent in the face of unjust destruction. Instead, we rally and we rise. We gain energy and we become fierce with divine healing energy. And so this is talking about sacred activism. It's talking about people coming together for a sacred purpose and using our divine energy. Treasuring what is sacred, original, and worth preserving in human culture is part of our task as those who are aware enough to recognize it. One of the tribal wisdoms of the Matses people is that the best way to contribute is to do what one does best. There will be many who will want to stop you, and yet black jaguar, a rare variant of the panther species of South America, brings the medicine of fearlessness and a willingness to act, the ability to discover hidden knowledge and unravel secrets. The Matses and the black jaguar are rare and endangered, unique treasures upon this earth. Their presence is in our consciousness, reflects a conversation taking place between our soul and the Divine Mother. She knows how to heal any ills within her realm. All we need to do is follow the urgings of our heart with confidence, and all that we need to know will be imparted, so that her beautiful will can be brought to bear. Do what you do best. Find your truth, find your voice, and speak it. Speak what's in your heart. We all are being called, like whatever your soul is being guided to do is how you can help to affect this change, right? So for me right now, my soul is now being called to be on YouTube and to share the messages that I'm receiving. And through this process, I'm being given more and I'm gaining more. And we've talked about this before too, the more we gain, the more spiritual gifts we have access to, the greater the responsibility. And when we step up to the plate and we uphold that responsibility, we receive more. And so it's like whatever your soul is being called to do, if it's being called to make art, if it's being called to make music, if it's being called to write, if it's being called to just have conversations and spread awareness in the group that you are. If you're being called to join a group or, of activists to be active in, protecting the planet, whatever it is that you are being called to do. If you're being called to do something political, we do exist within this 3D matrix. And so sometimes some of us are drawn to affect that matrix from that point. It's whatever you're being called to do and wherever you're being called to go. We're being called back home right now. We're being called to the place where we will be most effective. And so it's just listening to those calls, listening to your intuition, listening to where your heart is guiding you to go and going to that place. Going to that place, when we're allowed to move around more. Right now it's a little different if we're being called somewhere physically, but going to that place inside that you're being called to. That is so, so important right now. It's just this is a great opportunity that we have with the coronavirus right now, because we are kind of being restricted. And so we have all this free time. Like, what are you desiring to do with this time? What is it that's calling to you? Is there a new skill that you've been guided? Sometimes when we integrate past life energies too, we're being called to different things and we're being interested in things we weren't interested in before. That's our soul, and that's that piece of our soul that we've reclaimed speaking to us and wanting to reach back out and initiate that process that leads to the utilization of that gift. So whatever it is that you do best or that you're being drawn to do. For me, like, I was terrified to come on YouTube. Because I had so many issues where I did feel like maybe I wasn't good enough. Maybe I didn't know enough yet. Maybe I didn't have enough to share. And, but I did it anyway. So sometimes we don't know what we're good at until we try. But we know that we really want to do something. There's that desire there, that soul desire. That desire that was placed there as a guidepost to guide us and lead us down the path that we're meant to walk at this time. And so just listening to that and following that and, sharing of yourself, and sometimes that process involves, like we mentioned earlier, for people in the beginning of their awakening journey, doing that internal work. And that's okay if that's what you're doing right now and that's what you're guided to do. Like, that's what you need to do. And you are still a very important piece of this beautiful tapestry that we are, this tapestry of creation, this multifaceted diamond, right? You are still influencing and adding your light and helping to heal everything that I heal in me, I heal in you to some extent, So it's all so important, and it's just knowing where you're being called right now and what you're being called to do. And that is, where we're going to be the most effective. We're all taking our posts right now, I guess you could say, in this spiritual battle that we're fighting, and we will conquer because we have divine grace and divine justice on our side. And all of the ways that society and humankind have been perverted and have been led astray, like I said, we're coming back home. We're finding our way back to that home, back to that center, back to that understanding of the sacredness of this experience and the sacredness of every interaction that we have with another, which is just an interaction that we're having with another facet of ourselves. And so now we're going to close this with the meditation or activation, or whatever you want to call it. The healing process is what they call it in here, that I was going to read before, and from the White Buffalo Woman. And so I want everyone, if you're feeling so called, to place a hand on your heart, and you can close your eyes or you can leave them open, whatever works best for you, whatever feels natural to you, and say, or listen to, "Such is your love, Great Spirit, that our every human need is anticipated. And in times when we have lost our way, you send us a Savior, one who loves us with such passion and purity that they are moved to action on our behalf. May we open our hearts to such saving grace and truly embrace your ways, Great Spirit, bringing the harmony of heaven to earth. Through my own free will and divine grace, so be it." If there are names of people, including yourself, who need a blessing of hope, healing, and renewal, you can call for special assistance now by saying, "I call for special assistance of divine dispensation through unconditional love, divine redemption, and mercy for," insert your loved one here. Now I want everyone to place your hands in prayer at your heart and bow your heads. Imagine a powerful, shining white buffalo within your heart, radiant and kind and rare, a sign of true hope, renewal, and divine miracles of healing. Allow yourself to feel touched by the radiance, the otherworldly grace and beauty of this creature in your heart. He will fade away softly, spreading his presence out as light to all those on your list. Or if you did not state a list, he will spread this light to the world as a whole. Rest for a moment in the bliss of this blessing. Sometimes we're sent a savior, and sometimes we are that savior. And a lot of times the savior that is sent to us is there to remind us of the power that we have within ourselves to be that savior. Thank you. Blessed be. Namaste. The light in me recognizes the light in you. We are all one. We are all powerful co-creators, and we have so much help at our disposal right now. We have so much guidance that's allowing us to tap into the potential that we have to create this beautiful change, to be players and actors in this great, great remembering process. You have everything you need inside of you. And all you have to do is connect into that heart center, connect in and remember. Remember who you are. It's all you have to do. And that's what we're doing. If you liked this video, please hit the like button. It really helps us out so we can get this message out to as many people as possible. Although we know everyone who needs this video will find this video. Subscribe if you haven't yet. If you want to catch more videos, definitely come join us at 10 p.m. tonight for the live that we're doing. If you are watching this on the 444 portal. If you're watching after, you could still, the live will still be up there, I'm sure. Or, these messages just found you at the right time, because they always find everyone at the right time when they need to hear them. And, we love, Kayla and I both love absolutely every single one of you. You are divine spiritual warriors. We are, that's it. You are divine spiritual warriors. Always remember that. Always remember that. And you can call on the medicine of the tiger, the medicine of the panther, the medicine of the white buffalo. You can call on your ancestors. There's your guides. There is so much, and all they're doing is helping reinforce and helping empower you to remember the power that already lies within you. I am that I am. See you later.